You just paid $1,000 for a phone that costs $200 to make. And you felt good about it. That's not an accident. That's pricing psychology at its most powerful. Apple doesn't sell phones. They sell status, simplicity, and a carefully engineered sense of value. But the real reason people happily overpay is far more interesting than just good marketing. Pricing is the single most powerful lever in your business. Change your price and you change everything. Your perceived value, your profit margins, your entire customer base. Yet most entrepreneurs treat pricing like an afterthought. They pick a number that feels right and never touch it again. That's a $1 million mistake. Apple uses 5 distinct pricing strategies. Each one works on a different part of your brain. And together, they've built the most valuable company in history. Let's break them down. Strategy number 1 is premium pricing. Apple positions itself as the luxury option in a commodity market. They don't compete on price. They compete on perception. When you see that Apple logo, you don't see a computer. You see innovation, creativity, and belonging to an exclusive club. Premium pricing isn't about being expensive. It's about being worth it. Strategy number 2 is price anchoring. This is why they always show you the most expensive option first. The $1,600 MacBook Pro makes the $1,300 MacBook Air feel like a bargain. The iPhone Pro Max at $1,200 makes the regular iPhone at $800 look reasonable. That's not a coincidence. That's neuroeconomics. Your brain doesn't evaluate prices in isolation. It compares them to the first number it sees. Strategy number 3 is the decoy effect. Apple offers 3 versions of every product. The middle option is almost always what they want you to buy. The cheapest option is stripped down just enough to seem inadequate. The most expensive has features most people don't need. The middle becomes the sweet spot. Perfect price, perfect features, perfect psychological pull. You feel smart choosing it. Strategy number 4 is skimming the demand curve. Apple starts high and stays high. They let early adopters pay premium prices. Then they introduce lower-priced options years later. The SE model. The older generation iPhone. Each time, they capture a new segment of the market without discounting their flagship. They're selling yesterday's technology at today's premium margins. And they own both ends. Strategy number 5 is the ecosystem lock-in. Once you own one Apple product, switching becomes painful. Your photos, your contacts, your entire digital life lives inside their walled garden. This gives them pricing power others don't have. You're not buying a phone. You're renewing your membership in the Apple ecosystem. And members don't question the price. They just pay it. Now here's the counterintuitive twist. These strategies work best when your product isn't dramatically different from the competition. Apple's hardware is often behind Samsung specs. Their software updates are slower than Android's. None of that matters. Because pricing psychology isn't about logic. It's about emotion, identity, and how we signal our status to the world. What does this mean for your business? You don't need a $1,000 product to use these strategies. You just need to understand the principles. Price with intention. Create anchors. Offer choices that guide behavior. And never, ever compete on price alone. That's a race to the bottom. The bottom is crowded. The top is where the profits live. The most expensive product in your lineup doesn't need to sell well. It just needs to make everything else look like a deal. That's price anchoring. That's the power of perception. And it works whether you're selling iPhones or information products. So the question isn't what your product costs. The question is what your customer believes it's worth. That's what you control. That's the game.